Alrighty everyone, welcome back. It is now the end of March of 2025, and given that many weeks ago the With Love Meghan series dropped on Netflix and it was universally rejected by the public outright, nobody wanted to invest any of their time into this Meghan Markle series. Nobody wanted to actually give Netflix any of their valuable time as a customer toward a series featuring Meghan Markle cooking and doing housework and doing all of these out-of-whack things that really don't deserve to be on a streaming platform like Netflix. For example. That's why they have been bleeding subscribers. That's why a lot of customers have been leaving Netflix and going to others like HBO Max, Amazon Prime, and among others out there like Peacock, for example. But now you have a lot of pushback. You have a lot of damage control taking place, not just from Meghan Markle, but also from some of our co-stars and from within Netflix themselves. We know that the board of directors are trying to patch things up when it comes to the Meghan Markle drama and the entire collapse that's been happening around themselves. Now, what's interesting about all of this has a lot more to do with the fact that we know that Meghan Markle is trying to pretty much outlast her time over at Netflix as much as possible, and everything to do with her as an actress, quote-unquote, to elongate that as much as possible. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So one thing about Meghan Markle as we speak is that she is still on damage control when it comes down to the series. Now, very ironic, we have two Rachels. We got this Rachel, Meghan Markle, and we got Rachel Zegler going on damage control for her movie Snow White. It is ironic that they are both a Rachel, and that they are both very similar in the ways that they talk, in the ways that they handle criticism and backlash, etc., etc. However, this is where it gets really interesting, is that with the Meghan Markle drama only getting worse for Netflix after the ratings disaster known as With Love Meghan, one major development going on now involves more to do with Meghan Markle yet again, attacking critics after her series was universally rejected and led so many studios in Hollywood to abandon her. Meghan recently delivered the following. Taking a closer look at the reception that we received for Season 1, I think our greatest challenge that we are now dealing with are the male demographic that don't quite understand how important women really are and just how independent they can be, and that's what this show is all about, right? You know, it's about obtaining independence and taking responsibility for yourself. And it's widely offensive to see both men and women rejecting what we created that is just so powerful and something that can really teach a thing or two to so many people around the globe. We needed to really take a large step back from many men that can be very toxic. Our show is about women, which is something so many don't even seem to understand. And it's a great symbol of just how important diversity, equity, and inclusion is to me as an actress. We are living in an era where you really can't go by critics or reviews anymore for anything in show business, whether it's a film or a TV show, like One, for example. You just can't trust them for everything in now coming from a very biased place. I find my opinion to be very relatable to many other actresses in this field, and the terrible behavior toward our show is something I will no longer tolerate. We have a lot of fans that love our show. We have a wide amount of TV supporters that rated our show very well, and I just won't stand any of the criticism anymore, and they just want more. And it's why we are creating a Season 2. We are catering to those that are not willing to speak their mind. We will already, of course, involved in Season 2, but we will be doing extra stuff that I think is going to be controversial to the same toxic group, coming from the public that just outright rejects what we are trying to accomplish in this world. We need to stop listening to anyone that's toxic like that in nature in this industry. We need to stop listening to the other platforms that are trying to act like the mainstream media. You know, I think that we need to put all our faith in legacy media to really trust the system on how everything is perceived when it involves programs like mine. Now guys, let me just stop here for one moment now. It's not a big shocker that Meghan Markle is rooting for the legacy media to stand up for her, to defend her at all costs. That's exactly why, by the way. A lot of programs like Good Morning America, Jimmy Kimmel Live, and among others out there like the Drew Barrymore show, just kept on rooting for Meghan Markle. They kept on, defending the show at all costs to try to prop it up as if it's something very successful, when in reality, when you go on the Rotten Tomatoes score, it is quite the abysmal program for Netflix, and it's not working for Netflix one bit. If anything, it really tarnished the image of Netflix and put Greg Peters, the CEO, in a very tough spot. Now, look, it's not all on Greg Peters because, everyone needs to know this. The CEO doesn't really call all the shots all the time. A lot of it is run by the board. And when you look at Greg Peters, he tried to warn the board well ahead of time that what they were doing with this Meghan Markle show was a very big mistake. It was a very risky move, and they did not listen to him. And that's exactly why they are sitting where they are sitting right now. Now, Season 2, about that, it's nothing more than a Season 1.5, and what I mean by that is, it is basically Season 1 Part 2. They shot 16 episodes for Season 1 and split it into 2 parts, except they're calling it a Season 2 to kind of create this illusion as if it was so successful that they're actually pushing forward with another season, when in reality, it's all just one big project that they worked on at once. So, they're going to do some additional filming to add on extra, running time for each episode for Part 2 of Season 1. That's being called Season 2. But I digress. Interestingly enough, there is a wide issue, she says, of sexism, misogyny, and bigotry in the United States, and honestly throughout the entire world. It's a wide challenge that I think is going to be very tough to step over. Enough is what I have to say when it involves those issues and how we are dealing with that day in, day out with our show. People, both men and women, just don't understand what With Love Meghan is all about. And I think many citizens in the United States really need to become more educated and to detach themselves from being so misinformed on what it means to be a woman, or how a woman should be perceived by a man. This show, I think, is going to teach so many lessons for everyone, and we are going to have more great cameos for Season 2 that will certainly create pushback by the same loud noise. Now, again, she's sounding like Alec Baldwin there, saying how there's a lot of citizens in the States that are very uneducated and misinformed, and all of that nonsense that's being spewed by Meghan Markle. Not a big shocker, right? She sounds just like just like Alec Baldwin, Julia Roberts, George Clooney, all of these actors and actresses that really just got way too involved in politics, and she's really beginning to go into that line of getting into, politics, activism, and the ideology that she supports. And we already know what she's trying to do with Season 2. We talked about this. She is in the planning stages as we speak right now to get Gavin Newsom and Kamala Harris as 2 major cameos in the political view on Season 2 for episodes 3 and 6. That's another thing to really kind of keep your eyes open for, because that is going to be filmed by this June. Already Gavin and Kamala have agreed to hop on her show, to cook with her, to talk politics, to talk about Donald Trump, to talk about Gavin Newsom's, political future. There's no coincidence there. This is why Gavin has been going on multiple podcasts. This is why he's now planning to go on Meghan Markle's show. And Kamala Harris is the same exact situation right now as well. They're all preparing for 2028 is what it boils down to. But overall, I would like to hear what everyone has to say toward everything related to Meghan Markle's damage control over the ratings disaster that is With Love Meghan. And if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I'll catch you guys later.